everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic hiking video. I'm so glad that you have chosen to come along with me as we take this little journey. I go on these hikes. I try to do it every day for exercise, but that's not always a possibility, whether it's rain or I'm just too busy. But I do my best to at least get a minimum of 3 days, up to 5. And it is fantastic exercise. It really is. And what I like about it too, exercise can be a chore sometimes. You know, you're like, I don't want to do this or do that. But when it comes to the hikes, I want to go. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to see what I'm going to see and how it's going to feel and the beautiful weather. And even when it's cloudy or rainy, I just love the experience. And it's never old. It never gets boring. There's always something new to look at and something different to feel. And it is fantastic. So today, I'm going to tell you a story about something that I saw that was pure insanity and amazing and one of the greatest moments of my life, and a moment that I cherish. I literally got down on my knees and thanked God for giving me this experience. I was like, thank you so much. Thank you for letting me see this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So back in 1982, I was a little kid. I was, at this point in time, I think I had just turned 7. And for my birthday, my father took me to see E.T. And I absolutely loved it. I loved E.T. I wanted E.T. to be my best friend. And I was the same age as, or roughly the same age as Drew Barrymore, but for some reason, I felt like I was more like Elliot. And I just loved it. And the visuals of it, even though I wasn't paying attention to the visuals of it because I was 7, for some reason it got embedded in my brain. And after that movie, I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to make movies. I wanted to be a filmmaker. Of course, again, I didn't know what that meant. All I knew is I wanted to do that. I wanted to make stuff like that. And so E.T. became an important part of my life. But I also think it opened my eyes to what's out there. And I always believed that we were never alone. That there was other creatures and other beings living on other planets out there. And I just kept thinking to myself, how could there not? Why would God create this infinite universe for just this one planet? Like, why would that be? That just doesn't even sound right. There has got to be more out there. And so my fascination with what's out there grew. And it even got to a point when I was probably 10. I had a telescope. And I would watch the horizon and the stars. And I was not even looking for interesting planets. I was looking for ships, for UFOs. But I never saw anything. And so it would kind of drive me crazy because it's like, I want to see something. I'm always looking. When I became a teenager, I had a new friend who was also into UFOs and the paranormal. And so we would talk for hours on end about it and tell stories and sometimes just watch the sky and never see anything. And that was it. So my life would go on for all these years and I never saw a UFO, and it drove me crazy. I wanted to see one so badly. I wanted to know that what I believed was true, that there really was something out there. Meanwhile, the government, of course, is telling us at this point in time, no, none of that exists. Weather balloons. That's what you saw, weather balloon. Swamp gas. Drones. Oh, drones are everywhere. That's what it was. Yeah, but I saw a cow being abducted. No. That was a parachute. The cow likes to parachute. Okay. I didn't know cows could... Yeah. They like to parachute. We now cut to 2013. And I'm having a bad year. Really bad year. So on Friday, May 3rd, 2013, my family got together to have dinner. Now, that was a tradition we had. Every Friday, we would choose one person's house to have dinner. So one week it would be my house. Another week it'd be my brother's house. Another week my other brother's house. Would be my mother's condo or my sister's home. So we would just swap. And it was great. And it was something to look forward to. And then we could rant and rave about our week and get updated about things and all this and that. And we always had a nice meal and a tasty dessert. And it was fun. But at this point in time, to me, that was my escape from how bad my life was at the time. I was in the process of losing everything and struggling and making these horrible sacrifices that were really affecting me, and it was just a bad, bad time. I was also very depressed and miserable. And working like crazy, because at that point in time, I was now 100% self-employed. I didn't get home until 2:30 in the morning. And I get home at 2:30 in the morning, and I sit down, and I got some work to do. And I think I probably just sat there for a half hour and did some research, and then decided that I wasn't going to be able to go to bed. So it's 3 in the morning, and I turn the TV on, and it's the Golden Girls. So I decided to watch that, because I love that show. And as soon as I sit down, I hear this rumbling, and I feel a vibration. And so I quickly mute the TV, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And while I'm sitting there, listening to that and feeling something, like just mostly a vibration, I just thought it was odd. And then I catch a bright light out of the corner of my eye. Now, I had window blinds, those horizontal plastic window blinds. And through the little holes that are along this side where the string is, that's where I could see this bright light. And I'm just thinking, like, what in the hell is that? So I quickly run to the window and I open up the blinds, and there it is. What I am seeing is just, like, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I am, like, stunned. I cannot believe I'm actually seeing this. And I am so happy and excited, and I just, like, I'm like, oh my god, it really is that! It's really, holy cow, it's real! Look at that! Look at it! Oh my god! I can't believe I'm looking at this! And I was so happy and excited and ecstatic about it. So then I quickly grabbed my phone and I go run outside of the house. Unfortunately, by the time I got outside, it was gone. It was gone. What I saw was surreal. I actually got down on my knees right then and there, and I just started thanking God for giving me this experience. Thank you so much, God, for letting me go through this, for letting me see this, for this moment. I will never forget this moment. When I looked out the window, I saw this enormous craft. And when I say enormous, I have a hard time explaining how big it was. At least 2 or 3 football fields long. And it was on a slight slant. And had all these lights going all across. All white lights just going straight across. They weren't blinking or anything. They were just from one end to the other. And it was enormous. And it just kept moving and flying straight across the tops of the trees and everything, and was headed off towards the mountain. And of course, that's the point when I ran outside and it had already gone over the mountain and I missed it. I should have just stayed in the window. I just didn't have my phone on me to be able to record it, which kills me. Kills me. But it was stunning. It truly was stunning because there was no other explanation for it. It was no weather balloon. It wasn't a plane or a jet or a helicopter. The thing was only like 50 feet above the ground. It was practically touching the tops of the trees. It had no sound. It just made a vibration. And the lights weren't flashing or twinkling, and there were just pure white lights. And it was amazing. And truly one of the greatest and coolest moments of my life. And at that point, I knew that even though I had spent most of my life believing that they were real, now I finally saw one with my own eyes. And not only did I see it, it was stunning. But it wasn't over. because this was 3 in the morning, and that's when bizarre things started to happen. Packs of coyotes from all over started howling. From the back, from the front, from the side, from the far distance. There's a farm field across the street. From there, like every direction, all I kept hearing was howling. And then this vibrational sound that I really can't explain it. It was just loud. And it sounded like something was going to fly over the house. And I actually ducked at one moment because it seemed like it was about to pass over my house. And I was afraid like there were, gonna be like, jet burners on it that would blow through me and burn me up. But there was nothing there. So I never saw anything, but I could hear it. And I have no explanation for that. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's related, if it's not, but it was just so loud and it just felt like it was coming over the house, but it wasn't. And that went on for at least an hour of all this noise. And then I hear fire engines, or not even fire engines, police sirens. So I could hear where the police car's actually going. And it heads around town towards where the mountain was. And behind the mountain is a lake. Interestingly enough, that is an area that has had multiple UFO sightings. So it was a very bizarre night, and I had recorded the audio of all of it. But unfortunately, about 2 years later, I had never, for some reason, took the audio off my phone. I had left it on there, and my phone stopped working, and I brought it in to get it saved, and they couldn't save the files. They couldn't get my files out of the phone. So that was my stupid mistake. So unfortunately, I don't have the recording of it, which sucks. But it was insane to have actually witnessed the UFO and to see it that way. But ever since then, I have seen other things. And I have heard this, that when you finally connect or see a UFO, that somehow you will start to see more of them. That, like, they know. Like, they now know that you're connected to them somehow. I don't know how true that is. It's just something I've heard, but it does seem to kind of fit because I have now had multiple sightings. Not as good as that one, but I had one just a couple of weeks ago in that same area from the other side of the mountain where that one had passed, where something large and kind of a white and triangular shape flew across the highway in broad daylight. And it was, again, only like 50 feet above the ground. Unfortunately, though, it went behind a bunch of trees and I could not see it again. Really amazing. What I find to be very interesting is that for most of my life, there are many people who claim that all of this was nonsense. There's no such thing as UFOs. There's no such thing as aliens. And then, in the height of the pandemic, the U.S. government comes out and says, oh yeah, by the way, guess what? Yeah, UFOs are real. And we have evidence. And nobody bats an eye. Like, all these years, they're like lying to us and not telling us that they're real and telling us that those of us who see things are nuts. Oh, what you saw was swamp gas, or no, that was my uncle's Ferrari. It has a problem. It like he jumped it, and that's what you saw. Oh no, swamp gas. Weather balloon. Just nonsense. And all this whole time they were covering it up because UFOs are actually real, and they've been covering it up. And yet people in this country don't give a flying fuck. I mean, it kills me. Like, the government was so afraid that people would get into a panic and freak out that they kept this lie and kept it going for decades and decades and decades. And then finally they reveal it and everybody's like, yeah, whatever. That's what gets me more than anything.
And now, a shameless plug.
This is Mike with a shameless plug. Yes, I have multiple websites, and I would like to introduce you to the first one, which is MikeMBurkeDesigns.com. If you're looking for cool items to add to your home, you will find plenty of items here. Everything here is designed by me, my own personal designs. So check out MikeEmbertDesigns.com. There's a lot of great gift items for Christmas, for birthdays, cool items to add to your living room, your bedroom. So have a look at MikeEmbertDesigns.com.